Where'd all the new progress go? Hey, why am I underneath all the emails, calls, paperwork, and stuff? More stuff. Is there an end to this? I'm a prisoner of my own machine.
Sound familiar? Well, it's time to get out of all that stuff and get your life back with the VIP Coach. No Hype Allowed. Hosted by Executive Performance Coach John Davidson and HighLevelPerformance.com. Here's your host, JD.
Woo! High level performance. JD here. We're here in April 2008, and I'm so excited to talk with you today. This is going to be a great show on No Hype Allowed. You know, welcome all entrepreneurs, welcome all creators, welcome all people who imagine something in the future bigger than they have today. Isn't entrepreneurship fun? Entrepreneurship is a lifestyle. That's how I see it. And you have a number of freedoms as an entrepreneur that we often fail to remember. One of those is the freedom to choose who we want to do business with. Another is the freedom to create as much income as we want to. Right? You have unlimited opportunity. There's no floor, but there's no ceiling. Also, you have the freedom to choose whatever purpose you want. You have the freedom to be healthy. You have the freedom to treat your body the way that you want to. The point I'm making here, folks, is entrepreneurs aren't about money. Money is the byproduct. What they're really buying is they're buying time. The essence of an entrepreneur is to buy the time with the money. It's all about freedom. I'll bet if we tested 100 entrepreneurs, including you, what got you to do this whole thing, what got you into this game and this playing field, is you felt you could do it better. You fired the boss. You said, I could do this better, and I no longer want to be under someone's hand. I'm going to be a renegade. I'm going to be a crusader, and I'm going to bring myself to the world and take all I am on the road. And you did it. You did it with a lot of expectations, though, didn't you? You had expectations about your freedom. So what really drives you? What is your whole criteria for success? What is it, what is it guided by? What is it built upon? What are the foundations? Number one is great marketing. Great marketing. There's a great divide between doing what you do and marketing what you do. We'll talk more about that on the show. Number two is that you have a system, you have a structure in place to enjoy a great lifestyle and some freedom. So you feel rewarded in life by your work. And by doing that, it means that you consistently fire yourself from time for money. If you are attached to time for money, you're in a freedom problem. Because when you can't work, for example, this last couple of weeks I had a medical issue come up. I couldn't work for a week. I really realized how much I had built a business or how much I owned a job. Because if you get sick and everything stops, do you really own something? Your business shouldn't stop. It's a big wake-up call. So having lifestyle and freedom has to do with what kind of economy of means you're in. If you're a professional, maybe it is time for money. Maybe it's time to begin thinking of ways for you to get paid differently. See, if you weren't in time for money, maybe you'd have other people working for you. Number two is maybe you'd be productizing. Maybe you'd have other ways to make income, other products. It's not just your service, right? You have other ways that you can produce money while you're not there. Really think about that. And then third is autopilot. I don't know any entrepreneur that doesn't want a business that has great market value and is able to operate in a codifiable way, meaning that it has a predictable protocol, a uniform set of practices that deliver the same quality every single time. You have the ability to steer your business in a way that you can systemize things, you can develop processes, how things are done. So one, people can win for you, right? They get the right instructions to win. Two, your business becomes more attractive in the market. If you ever sell it, it has more equity. See, there are 4 different types of money in your business. You've got cash, which is really money moving through time, like your cash flow statement. You've got revenue, net profit. But you have this other type of money that you tend to neglect. I call it balance sheet activity, equity, things that you do to make your business more autonomous, run by itself, run by others to take control of it, to steer it, to govern it by having good systems in place. Now, you may say to me, yeah, but JD, I got so much to do. I don't know how I'm going to build the plane and fly it. But you must. People ask me, how do I do it? I just say you just do. You choose to. Because one of the unfair advantages, remember, is you can choose to do what you want with the time that you have. So you can either be working on your business or you can be working in your business. You have activities to work on your business with, and you can be working in your business. On your business is balance sheet activity. That's equity time. That's equity money. You're building up the value. In your business, cash flow, profit and loss statement time. You're securing relationships. You're making sure that you get the money in, making sure that you pay your bills. All of those activities, customer service, to maintain it, sustain it. But the long-term component is to build it up and get a big payday. And a lot of us get like ostriches. We get our head in the sand. We're so caught up in what we got to do today that we fail to figure out that, wait a minute, I got to get paid for all my hard work here. How am I going to cash out on this puppy? I got to have a big payday. What is your big payday strategy? I'm asking you that, Mr. Entrepreneur. Do you have a big payday strategy? How is it going to happen? Are you going to bankrupt the corporation? Are you going to have a manager groomed and they're going to buy it out? Are you going to have a buyer that's going to come along and buy you and acquire you? Are you going to position yourself for acquisition? Are you going to merge with somebody else who does what you do, or maybe is a conduit or an adjunct to what you currently do, that both of you together have better value, have double impact? How are you going to do it? Are you going to sell off certain parts of your business? Are you going to hire a staff and keep it robust and just keep it going? Maybe it's going to be family-owned. Maybe you're going to groom a family owner. So how are you going to do this? What is your payday strategy? And once you identify that, how does it start guiding how you operate, think, act, and make decisions today? It's something worth thinking about. Now, I'd like to get back into that Great Divide comment. We're going to talk about the marketing component of your business today. Marketing is one of the most exciting things that you can be doing to work on your business because it directly impacts making more money. I'm not talking about the equity side, although there's a component of it, but I'm talking more about increasing your impact in the marketplace. And I'm sure you know that in order to do that, you got to change your habits, you got to change your support structure, and you got to change your relationships. You need the right relationships, you need the right song, you need the right practices that make you reliable, sustainable, trustworthy, referable, being able to be loyal to, all of those things that earn your sustainability and credibility. But you also need the right support structure around you. Like a quarterback, you need a team around you that will preserve your talents. Make sure that they're fit to do what they're supposed to do, hired well, equipped well, and they're enthusiastic about the game. And that's a lot to think about, isn't it? There's a lot of tricks in doing that. Right? That takes uncommon skill. You bet it does. That's why 95% of small business owners fail, because they don't have uncommon skill. And doing it, you've got to be professionally unconventional. PU. You got to stink up the joint. Leave your mark. Professionally unconventional means you approach things with a fresh mind. Now, I've learned over the years that being professionally unconventional does not come from the inside. It doesn't come from hard work. Sure, you can optimize a business that already exists. You can turn it into something from good to great. You can make it better. But what I'm talking about are breakthroughs. Outthinking and outperforming your competition because you are still enough to fiddle with the ideas that innovate. But you're too busy being busy to do something that would make you less busy, right? You're so caught up in so much stuff that how could you even think about getting to those wondering ideas where actually dreamscaping, actually having dreams, thinking about those things are actually normal? You don't have the time for it because when you're home, when you're thinking about your business, you're chastised for it. What the heck are you going to do? You're always around the kids. You're always around your wife. They don't have any headroom. They won't allow you to have any headroom. So when are you going to think about it? You can't do it sitting there in your office chair. Because you got emails to handle, you got phone things to handle, you got matters to handle, you got meetings to be in. Where is the creative time? You must make the time. You define the time. You carve the time, sculpt the time. By defining how first you see time. Do you see time through a quantity or quality lens? If you're on the quality side, this will make sense. Second, breakthroughs come from the inside. Being better, being more uncommonly skilled is not going to come through formal education. Our educational institutions are creating obsolete students. Here's why. Because the average education lasts for 3 years, and our education system is built on an adequacy model. Adequacy is not significant. Adequacy is utility-driven. And you're an entrepreneur. You're not an employee. So you're not under the gun of somebody else. You're not looking to be hired and sell your skills or peddle those things. What you are doing is you're creating value for the marketplace. That's what you get paid for. You don't get paid for time. So whether that takes you an hour or 5 hours or 10 hours or no time, the point is you get paid for the level of value, not the time. Now, since that's the case, it requires you to be ingenious. You've got to get back to your ingenuity. It is your survival, man. You can't afford not to. So in order to do that, breakthroughs come from the inside. You get more school from your shower and your drive to work than you do at a formal school. Taking an MBA, getting some formal skills. Everybody's in the same class. You are sustainable by virtue of being one of a kind, and that means you learn from your own answers, and that comes from your intuition. It comes from your internal answers, your ability to compare what you're doing, fiddle more with what you're doing, and suddenly it's, aha, I see something. And you know when entrepreneurs get it? Man, there is more learning in the shower than anywhere. They take a shower, and suddenly it's like, whoa, I totally connected the dots. I found a solution. Or, whoa, I have a great idea. There's an opportunity in St. Louis for us to team up with somebody. Or, whoa, I see an angle on a client, a potential client that won't engage, but I totally see a tactic. Or you're in the car and suddenly, boom, that light bulb goes off. Trust your inklings. Now, you got to have the space to do it, though. So I'm going to ask you to be strict about your time away from work. See, when you get away from work, you get one breakthrough. Every time you go away from work, you get another breakthrough. So imagine this. If you took 100 days off a year, which is really conservative, I'll bet you every one of those days or every 2 days, depending on how many you have, getting strategically distant, you're going to start seeing things. It's like being in love and being so close that you're blind. And suddenly a friend goes, boy, do you see what she's really doing to you? And then suddenly you're apart for a while and you go, darn right, Darren, I couldn't believe you finally broke it. I finally get it now. See, when we get away from things, when we step away, we begin to see things. The mind begins to calculate. While you sleep, you begin to calculate. While you're awake, but you're away from all the responsibility, you begin to calculate. Your brain needs to fiddle, and it needs the stillness to fiddle. I see a lot of individuals practicing meditation these days. I'm not talking about getting into a yoga position and saying Om. Okay? It's not about being new age or spiritual. People meditate by virtue of just focusing on one thing, simplifying their world into one thing. Maybe you get meditation through art. Maybe your meditation is rock climbing. Maybe it's taking your bike back into the hills. Maybe it's water skiing. Maybe it's boating. Maybe it's sailing. Everyone has their thing. And you know why it's so therapeutic? Because they see things through another lens. They stand on the other side of the wall, and they see what's on the other side from that side. They're able to get what I call strategically distant. Remember I said this is a marketing show. This show today is about marketing. Why the heck am I talking about free time? Because marketing is about ingenuity. It is about coming up with new songs to sing to new audiences. And the only way you're going to reach that, one of the ways you're going to reach that, is by having great conversations with other people. And two is by having great conversations with yourself. That's where your genius rises up. Trust it. Now, in just a moment, we're going to be taking a break. And when I come back from the break, we're going to talk more about the 3 different ways that you can grow your business. We're going to talk about tactically how you can put these ingenious ideas to work. And I'm going to give you a form, a structure to work within. You'll still be creative, but you're going to have a whole new concept. All right? Hopefully I've created the itch you want to scratch. I'll be right back.
Congratulations. You've become a success in the business world. You've set goals and you've surpassed them. But now you ask yourself,
how can I muster the ambition and time to continue encouraging growth and still have time to enjoy life? Where did the excitement and ambition I once had go?
That's where we come in. High-level performance. Executive coaches that, simply put, in 3 years could help you triple your income, triple your fun, and triple your free time. Find out more at highlevelperformance.com. That's highlevelperformance.com. Highlevelperformance.com.
After a long, hard day with the global war on terrorism, open a tall, cool Kyle Warren show. Ah, that crisp, refreshing taste, that smooth style. that effervescing attitude, and without all that other stuff that can, well, bog you down. Helping to put back what the daily media assault takes away, The Kyle Warren Show, each weekday on Talk2K.com. That's The Kyle Warren Show on Talk2K.com.
Bogged down with all the stuff? Things gotten tough with all the success? Get ready for freedom with the VIP Coach. You're listening to No Hype Allowed with Executive Coach John Davidson.
Yeah, we're talking about breakthroughs in marketing. My co-pilot here, Kyle, and I were talking on the break about being in your office, and something that I think I got to crack the joke on here, because I do it too, is we have to act like we're busy because we don't want anybody to think that we're not busy. And it's a little outside the map of what we were talking about, but I think I got to bring it up here because it does relate that, you know, you want to appear busy, but you're maybe doing things to be audited as busy, but you're really not doing anything that is worthwhile. Typing away at the computer and answering emails and getting all the stuff done that you do isn't necessarily breakthrough tasking. That is just simply getting things done. That's the tactician. What we're talking about is reawakening the strategist, but changing the environment so the strategist can unleash himself. Now, marketing. I'm going to let you in on 3 different ways that you can grow your business. And the question I want to ask you is, how many different ways do you think there are to grow your business? Just think about that for a minute. How many ways are there to grow your business? You may be saying hundreds. You may be saying thousands. But I think I'm going to bring it down to 3 precision, simple ways that you can grow your business. And you can think exponentially around these 3 different ways. You can still get very creative. Way number 1 is to increase your current customer base. Current customer base. I'm sure you've thought about ways and currently have methods in place to think about how you're going to increase your customer base. To put the effort into, how am I going to increase my customer base? So I may have an ad that goes out, I may have a newsletter that goes out, I may have certain tactics in my business to increase my customer base. I'm going to attract and convert new customers. And interestingly, a lot of companies think just this way. When they think about marketing, really what marketing tends to encompass, the conceptual territory, is how can I increase my customer base? I need to bring in new customers all the time, so I never over-rely on my current customers. So I've got to always be bringing in new customers, and that's what drives our financial statements. That's great, and that is a great strategy, but you can think sequentially with your marketing or geometrically. In the military, geometric warfare is often more capable because we come at the enemy from all sides, from the air, from the water, from the land. We just bomb them, and we decimate the enemy so that they have no chance. And you can come at marketing the same way. Why not come at it from all sides? Way number 2 is to increase the average transaction size. Every time that a customer buys, either the first time or the next time, what can you do to increase the average transaction size each time? I call it the Costco strategy. They have shown us how to increase the transaction size. Essentially, if you buy something, you're going to be buying something else. If I buy a jar of mayonnaise, I'm going to be buying 9 more, and I have a reason to buy. So I'm going to be buying big. And the customer likes this because they are all about reserves. Because we've gotten into a convenience mode in our markets, we don't want to be driving to get things. So the consumer is going to the market a lot less and buying a lot more and having reserves so they don't have to be doing all the work later on. And you could be doing the same thing. You can offer them the same convenience. You can offer them a one-time pay, paid in full. It's something we offer in our coaching program. It covers 6 months. They don't have to get out their checkbook. They don't have to give us their credit card number. We don't have to be looking at invoices. We save them all that time. And the bottom line is they get a much better value for participating over 6 months instead of week to week or month to month. People want really good value. So some things to think about. What other products could you augment your product with? When your customer's finished with you, what other products or services do they tend to buy? Is there a way that you could market them through the aperture of your business? Could you form a strategic alliance to set it up so it's prepared in advance? What does the customer buy before you? What are some of the products or services that they tend to buy before needing you? Think about that for a minute. Really think about that. If I am a caterer and I'm thinking about doing a person's wedding, I'm sure they've already seen the photographer. They've already bought the limo. They've already got the dress. They've already gotten the invitations person. They've already handled the music. So why wouldn't I be putting a package together, maybe to coordinate all of them, where they can buy all of those from me, and I line up certain vendors where I'm going to pay them all a percentage, and they're happy because they get an automatic marketing opportunity. They don't even have to forfeit any cost. There's really no cost, just simply acquiring a lead through me. And I get a chance to funnel more to my client, create more value. I get a chance to handpick the providers. I get to lower the risk on that part. I look like a hero in their eyes. So looking at your model, what would be some neat ways that you could increase the average transaction size? Is there a package quality to what you do? If you're a cosmetic surgeon, for example, maybe there's a package. If you're going to be doing the face, maybe there's a package with other parts of the body. If you're going to be doing the Botox injections, maybe there is another part of the package that you can offer. If you're a Medi-Spa and you're going to be offering a massage experience, how about offering a 10 massage package? They're going to get more value and more relaxation out of 10 massages, and they're going to be paying once. I know I get more motivated by being paid once all up front than I do later on. I get more motivated to deliver better service. So what can you do in the shower and driving to work when you're doing those breakthrough times? What can you be doing to increase the average transaction size? Now, what's measured gets done. So start measuring what your average transaction size is. If you had 100 customers last year and your average transaction size was $100, you do the math. Compare it to what you brought in revenue. So what would be some ways that you could increase the average transaction size? Maybe you could buddy up with another business. You could find tons of products that maybe you could resell through what you do. If you provide a service, maybe there's another add-on service, another product that you can add also onto that. You know, in our coaching, we have a model where we tag on, we throw in assessments, we throw in staff training, we throw in sales training. We have a lot more that people can buy than just our VIP Coach one-on-one program. We have a consulting process we call GPA, get your point across. If you have any important letters or written documents, important communications that you need to prepare in a world-class way because the importance of the outcome is big, you can go through us. Don't screw around with those kinds of things. They're very pivotal. These are things that we can add on depending on the needs of the person. We also record our coaching calls. We often ask, do you want us to record the call? Maybe it's another $25. So every single transaction exponentially over a year, if you do 30, 40, 50, 70, 100 thousands of transactions, you're going to see some exponential bottom line impact. The third way to grow a business, and often overlooked, but one of the most potent, is increasing the frequency of repurchase. And increasing the frequency of repurchase means that on an average, a client tends to buy over a certain period of time. If you're a roofing company, that may be a long period of time. You may need a roof every 10 years, but nevertheless, you may be that preferred provider after 10 years. If you're a dentist, there's a certain amount of people that come in and see you for cleanings. How can you increase the frequency of repurchase to get people to come back in and buy again? How could you increase the frequency of repurchase in your business? Now, sometimes you'll think about the buyer or the client in terms of each transaction. You'll say, well, we're going to get this person to buy more. Okay, great. When you look at your buyer or your current client, think about the lifetime value of that client. That'll better help you see what kind of cost structure you can afford to afford that. For example, if I have a coaching client and I calibrate my marketing efforts around a single package, which is around $5,500, I'm really thinking about my client in a very poor way. For example, I should be thinking about them in terms of how long do they usually stay in the coaching program. Well, they stay 2 years. Well, that's $25,000 in revenue. Okay, then what can I afford to acquire that client? What can I pay in a direct mail campaign to get a client? What can I be paying an advertising campaign on Google to acquire that client? See, because I'm thinking through the lens of $25,000, on an average, a client will stay with me 95% of the time. Statistics you can live by will tell you. You've got enough history, and if you don't, if you're a startup, then you can begin looking at this stuff and begin building statistics that you can live by, because these statistics tell you stuff. Sales is all built on statistics, closing ratios. Same gig. look back and do some homework. Think about how many times a client buys from you on average over what period of time. And what's the average lifetime value of a client? How can you increase that by 10%, 20%, 30%? What could you do to increase the frequency of repurchase? If you're a financial planning firm, what could you do to induce them to meet halfway through the year? Why would they meet you halfway through the year? What other products might you put them in? How could you increase the frequency of repurchase? Maybe you have client reviews that you need to have more often. If you're in insurance, what other insurances could they buy? Could you cross-sell them into? What other additional products could they be into? If you're selling homeowners insurance, could you line up a rhythm with a mortgage guy to offer them a requote on their refinance of their house, and then you insure them on that refinancing deal and get them a better premium? Again, be thinking before, during, and after the sale. Not just before the sale, but expand your thinking geometrically so that you're really thinking about how to expand that client relationship. Maybe you're going to have better service, and that's going to do it. Maybe you offer advanced recommendations and you're a hair salon, and you're going to offer those hair salon members other things that you're doing to get them in there a little bit more often. Maybe you're going to upsell them facials. Maybe you're going to be adding on a massage experience. Again, how can you geometrically come at your client with more value? That's what they want. And they want it from you because once you credibilize it into one thing that you've proven, now they're more likely to buy another. It's 11 times less cost to do business with a current client than to acquire a new one. Your current clients, probably the number one asset next to your employees. And you've got a gold mine right in your backyard. Why aren't you using it? Really think about what you're doing with your current clients. Maybe you could increase referrals. Maybe that's a way to increase your frequency of repurchase. How could you put a referral program in place? Orient your client around a referral process. Maybe in exchange for great service and their satisfaction, they're responsible for 2 referrals. So now every client that walks through your door has the role of giving you 2 referrals in exchange for the delivery of great service. Be thinking about this stuff, folks. They may pop up on you at the funniest of times. You may be saying, darn, that's a great idea. What else could I do to increase my frequency of repurchase? What could I do to increase my average transaction size? What could I be doing to increase my client base? Maybe what you do in this upcoming year is you assign yourself a revenue goal. And then you think to yourself, what are my averages in these areas? And then what do they need to be to hit my revenue goal? So maybe it's 1,000 customers times $100 every transaction size. Maybe you up that to $150 and you design a strategy to hit that. And then on the frequency of repurchase, maybe you increase that by 10%. What comes out on the other side is exponential. Maybe you've got salespeople. Maybe you pay them by commission and you know that your lifetime value is over X number of months or X number of years. You know the average revenue per client. Why don't you fatten up that commission on the initial sale? Why don't you make it 100%? Why don't you motivate the heck out of your salespeople to go out and get a bunch of new opportunities? Get them focused on acquiring new business. Because if they're sitting on their laurels, they're focusing on servicing accounts when they should be not complacent. They should be focusing on getting new business. So adjust their compensation plan through this data that we're talking about, and you'll get them really excited. We've done this with a number of clients in the printing industry. Printing salespeople tend to sit on their laurels and wait for those new print orders to come in. The printer wants all this new business. What about all these new accounts? Let him pay on the first account 100% of the commission, 100% of the deal. Sure, he's going to take a loss, but he knows that he has a 99% chance of getting a reorder, and every time the deal's going to be bigger, especially if we're increasing the average transaction size. It's going to offset that. You take the salesperson's commission and put it back to normal on every subsequent deal. That way their behavior changes with the commission structure. So there are many different ways to increase these. We get into the tactical components in our VIP coach program. There's 100 different ways that you can market your business. I recommend that you start with a goal. You calibrate your goal according to these 3 areas, and then you begin to determine 5 to 10 key marketing tactics. Build a marketing calendar so that every week you're focused consistently on that marketing tactic. Marketing is not only about creativity, but it's also about consistency, and that you have constant output going out to expose you to the audience that you're looking for, and you are asking for a response. So all the ads that you're doing, all the campaigns that you're doing in direct mail, all the referral programs that you're doing are all geared toward a call to action. Everything you're doing is designed to get a result. Stimulate interest, provide proof, show a high ROI, communicate what you're selling, make it believable, and make sure that the customer is ready to act. That is a great marketing campaign. It's not about just exposing your image and your positioning. It's about setting up marketing tactics so that you get the attention, draw the interest, communicate a high ROI, as I said before. The customer sees exactly what you're selling, and they'd be a fool to pass it up. Any irresistible offer is about this for that. Use your business as an irresistible offer. You are an offer. That's what you are. Make it your core imperative. What is your offer? And do your business practices before, during, and after the sale. Do they align with the brand that offer is communicating? Because it can't be too good to be true. If your sales and marketing arm are communicating something that your fulfillment process can't do, well, your customers aren't going to be around for very long. Your offer's too good, it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors, and it doesn't deliver. Your job is to make sure that whatever you market, that the inside reality follows it up. Any outside perception you create, the inside reality follows it up. Are you as good as what you say? That's the integrity of your offer. And in that lies the sustainability of a great company, of a brand. When you think about Starbucks, when you think about McDonald's, when you think about these companies that are out there, these 3Ms, the companies that never die, they were once small companies, folks. They were in a garage. They had big visions. Hitachi had a huge vision. He was repairing radios in a shack. All of them, to some degree, had to think about the finesse of their offer. What was the offer? And did they have the inside reality, the assembly line, the fulfillment process, the delivery, the customer service, the follow-through to deliver that offer twice as good as they said it would be? So your ultimate goal can be to develop a raving fan. You take a piece of lumber, you put it in the factory, and they come out the other side, a raving fan. When you've got 300 raving fans walking the earth as a small business, well, it gets pretty exciting. So this will be our show for today. We talked about marketing. Marketing breakthroughs come from the inside. Shower education, drive to work education, and 2, the 3 ways to grow your business. As always, our clients are performers. You understand the responsibility of implementation. No information is useful unless you implement it. So please take us seriously. If you'd like to get into applying this, put this to work, the implementation side of it, you can call us at 714-375-6624. Again, that's 714-375-6624. We're on the web. We offer a world-class coaching program to help you implement the concepts and the strategies that we anecdotally talk about on this show. We have 25 powerful focusing strategies, 81 power tactics, and they are all embodied to deliver 5 things. We'll remove the crap, focus you on your best money-making activity, get you taking enormous time off, get gobs of it for yourself and your kids and your loved ones and your body, begin getting back into the involvement and the meaning in your life, and build up a team and a firm of high market value so you can pay yourself big and have a great life. Because that's what it's all about. And if you want confidence in a bigger future, if your hope has started to diminish, let us get it back. I'd like to see all that you are going towards all that you want. That'll be our show for today. Again, no hype allowed. Have a great week. Bye for now.
Overwhelmed? Can't get to anything you planned?
Has the thrill ride of too much gotten ahead of you?
Get back that confidence with the VIP Coach. No hype allowed.